The article we have today: 7 Thai foods no one eats in Thailand. And like I mentioned, this one kind of I chose more for like a personal reason, because like I said, I worked in a Thai restaurant for 4 years under a Michelin star chef, and I ran his kitchen for 3 of those 4 years. So I'm kind of interested to see if this lines up with what I have learned, just to kind of see where my knowledge is. Again, I am not an expert. I am still very much a student of Thai cuisine, and I just was kind of interested to see, like, does my knowledge match what this article says? So we're gonna dig right into it, just kind of taking that all into account. Here we go. If you love spring rolls and veggie fried rice, better eat those here before booking that flight to Bangkok. What? Wait. What? According to the Pew Research Center, there are about 300,000 people of Thai descent living in America today, with Southern California being the home of the world's largest Thai community outside of Thailand itself, as noted by the Thai Community Development Center. Along with culture and family values and a dedication to excellence in education and professionalism and more, Thai immigration has also brought America a lot of great food. Facts. My food is great. There are a lot of flavors that I personally don't enjoy, like by themselves, but like within the like cuisine, top tier. Okay. According to the manual, there are some 5,000 Thai restaurants in America these days. The chances are good that you're not far from an order of oh boy, it's been a long time since I've had to pronounce. Gang dang 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 gang gang dang. I have no idea what that word is. Tom yum goong or pad kapral musop right now. Just know that the Thai foods you have come to know and love in America. My strength was never pronouncing the Thai words. I'm gonna say that right now. We had one of the folks that I had the pleasure of working with was from Thailand. She would constantly correct me, and I tried so hard to learn because I really struggle. I struggle pronouncing English words. If you guys have watched, my streams in the past, you guys wouldn't know that. All right. Just know that the Thai foods you've come to know and love in America may be virtually unknown in Thailand. For just as other cultures have put their mark on the American culinary This is exactly what I'm talking about. For just as other cultures have put their mark on American culinary experts like the hot dog. What? For just as other cultures have put their mark on American culinary experts like the hot dog. This is written very odd. As per Asia Society, so too has American influence altered many a Thai dish. Here are 7 Thai foods no one eats in Thailand. Okay, so I actually have something to say about this, and again, take all this with a little bit of with a grain of salt, right? But I have read articles and I've listened to, I've tried my best to educate myself on things like this, but again, I am by far no master on any of these cuisines. I'm not Thai. So I'm very white. So, but from what I have learned and read and come to understand is that when a lot of these folks came to live in the States and they opened up restaurants, and this is back in the day. I don't have a set of dates for you. I apologize. I don't have that stuff listed off the top of the dome, but they tried to make food that they would have eaten, back, let's say, China. Chinese food is a great example. And Americans were not having it. So they adjusted their recipes to fit the American palate. And I feel like right now we are seeing a lot of people move away from that as we, quote unquote, foodies are more willing to try stuff, and I feel like more people are open to trying more things, and not just, Aunt Fanny's meatloaf. You're seeing, especially with like the younger chefs hitting the scene. You see people, they're kind of putting more of those flavors, like more of an emphasis on those flavors, to where it's kind of leaning back the other way, I feel like. But it's just through some observations and stuff that I've read, and cooks that I've seen on things like TikTok, and videos on YouTube, is there's more of an openness to try this, and there are these younger generation chefs that really want to learn about their like homeland's cuisine, like the cuisine. I'm really struggling to put this in the right words. From like where their families may have immigrated from. They want to incorporate those flavors and learn more about those flavors with not quite going like full bore. But you're seeing these really cool fusion dishes, and there are ones too that are like, this is what you would eat in Thailand. I had the pleasure of working for a restaurant that they did their best to recreate those dishes as best they could here in the States. So it wasn't really like marketed for the American palate. It was more like, hey, do you want to try some stuff they would eat in Thailand? Which was a really great experience. But again, I've never been to Thailand, so I don't know how 100% accurate it was. I do know that throughout the different regions, people would use different ingredients. So even stuff that I had, it was more regional, and they might have been different in a different region. Here we go, pad thai. All right. Pad Thai is one of the most popular Thai dishes in America. It's also very popular in Thailand, but the version you'll usually get in the former is vastly different than what you'll get in the latter. American Pad Thai usually features sliced carrots and peppers, which you'd never see in authentic Thai preparation, according to Food Republic. Furthermore, American Pad Thai almost always lacks Chinese garlic, chives, and dried shrimp, essential to traditional preparation of the dish. So I personally did not like the dry brine shrimp that we used. So I always ordered mine without, because I could not stand them. They were just so briny. But it definitely did alter the flavor a lot, because I had to know what it was supposed to taste like. So I knew what it was supposed to taste like, to make sure it was being prepared correctly. When I personally ate it, it was without them. But I have yet to see another sort of Thai restaurant, at least where I'm at, around where I am, use those. I've also seen some use ketchup as a base instead of tamarind, because one is more expensive and harder to get. Maybe, I don't know. We never had. I don't know. We didn't have to start sourcing it, but maybe not everybody has access to that amount of tamarind. I've also had like a lot of gone to a few different Thai restaurants where instead of Thai chilies, they use red bell pepper. And it was so disappointing to not have that spice, because that spice was such a balancing factor for all the flavors. Working at this restaurant really made me look at food a different way, and how different food is perceived. Like, spice was something that helped balance out other flavors like sweetness or saltiness, or acidity. And so when that component was missing out of the food that I was eating, it felt really off and wrong and like overly sweet, which is more catered again to an American palate. Ice cream. In America, many Thai restaurants will serve you a little scoop or two of ice cream to finish off your meal. While tasty, this is not a traditional treat in Thailand. Not the actual cream part of the ice cream, anyway. In Thailand, ice cream is almost always made with coconut milk, not dairy milk, according to Tasty Thailand. So while you can still count on delicious frosty treats there, know that they will be distinct from what you get here. So, I worked with one of our bartenders was from Thailand, and he was always commenting about how there was like a few things that I think we used cream for. He was just like, I don't even know why we have this. Like, dairy is almost non-existent in Thailand. So which I find really interesting. But I guess if you have access to like coconut milk and stuff, why not? Because it's delicious. Creamy coconut soup. Soups are hugely popular in Thailand, sold by the bowlful in restaurants and by the bagful by street vendors. Dude, I want to get curry in a bag so bad because that sounds like such an awful time and an awful way to eat it. I could be wrong, but I can't imagine eating curry out of a bag. One of the soups you may well love most in all of Thai cuisine found in America does not exist in the same form in Thailand. Thai coconut soups tend to have a much thinner, albeit no less flavorful broth than American Thai soups, which are often made extra creamy to satiate the American palate. Also, the fat from the coconut cream helps counteract the spice. I don't know. We had all kinds of curries, and a lot of them didn't have coconut milk or cream in it. I mean, definitely some did, and some had a lot. Some had, some were mostly milk, some of them had cream, some of them had a combination of both. I think it just kind of depended on the curry, so I don't really know too much about this one. Although, looking at a lot of the restaurants around here, I feel like a lot of the curries that they do serve are like heavy coconut cream base, and there's not much of a variety from it. It's all coconut cream and then just different paste added in. Whereas like we had some that had cream, like I said, some of them had cream, some of them didn't. So it definitely less of a variety. Vegetable fried rice. Fried rice is popular in Thailand, not to mention the world over, because it's delicious. Facts. Fried rice is amazing. You guys know that the best way to make fried rice is to use day-old rice. So you cook off rice, and then you're gonna put it like a thin layer on a pan. It doesn't have to be day-old. You cook it, put it in a thin layer on like a tray, a plate, what have you. I usually use sheet trays. If I knew I was gonna be using it for staff meal, I would just put on a big sheet tray and stick it in our walk-in cooler. But then just chill it. You want to make sure it's in a thin layer. You don't want a really thick layer. Otherwise, the very center won't cool properly. And there is the concern of getting sick from bacteria growing in that weird center that sits to that kind of weird danger zone. But that's the best rice to make fried rice with. Let's see. God, my allergies are really hitting. All right, where are we? The fried rice you get there differs from Thai. Okay, hold on. We're gonna start over. Fried rice is popular in Thailand, but the fried rice you get there differs from Thai fried rice, often served in America in two notable ways. First, in America, the fried rice you get at a Thai restaurant often has peas, carrots, green onions, and other veggies chopped up and mixed in, whereas in Thailand it's often just rice. Really? Is that real? This one I don't really know about. We did not serve fried rice. Then, according to Dinner at the Zoo in Thailand, fried rice is flavored with fish sauce or oyster sauce, while in America it is often flavored with soy, which is not even a traditional Thai ingredient. Yo. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I would use like a mix, like fish and soy. I didn't know that soy was not traditionally used in Thai cuisine, because I feel like we used it. No. Maybe we didn't use it as much as I thought we did. While a staple vegetable in many American Thai dishes, broccoli is rarely served in Thailand, and it was even rare or totally absent from the cuisine in decades past. However, the vegetable known as Chinese broccoli is quite common in authentic Thai cooking. Chinese broccoli is a leafy green with more like a spinach or kale. We used heck, let's see what this looks like really quick. Is this what I'm thinking it is? Is you Choi? No. Oh, okay, yeah. Bakana, yeah. Oh my god, Bakana. We used to. What did we do with this? I think we steamed. We did this a couple ways. One way was steamed, and then it was steamed with garlic and I believe chilies, and then it was topped with this like really dope, like mixture of fish sauce and oyster and soy sauce, I think. And then I think there was sugar in there too. There's a lot of sugar in Thai cuisine, at least from my understanding. Heck yeah, dude. This stuff's so good. This stuff is so good. It's also good just stir fried. Alright. Curry with sticky rice. I hate sticky rice everything. Sticky rice is good at just everything. Google the words curry with sticky rice. Except, yeah, I wouldn't put curry on top of my sticky rice. Okay, Google the words curry with sticky rice and you'll get dozens and dozens of recipes. Take a look, though. You'll note that the sources of these recipes are not traditional Thai chefs. This is, I feel like, a case for a lot of, if you type in any Thai recipe, usually it's like Barbara from Connecticut's version of Thai food. This makes sense because according to Eating Thai Food, curry is never served with sticky rice in Thailand. Rather, it is served with steamed white rice. Not to say that sticky rice is not highly popular in Thailand, it's just eaten with other dishes. I think what is it? Gang Lei? Gang? Heck. Yeah, Gang Hung Lei. I believe we served with sticky rice, but I think that was the only curry we did, which was more of like a braised pork dish than anything, in my opinion. But it still had like a kind of a curry style broth. Spring rolls. Well, you can find spring rolls in Thailand. You'll have to search for them and ask for them. They're not simply included with almost every meal you order, is so often the case in America. Traditional Thai spring roll looks little like the little tubes of flaky dough you get here, called por piatad. I've butchered that in Thailand. The Thai take on these eats is a much larger fried roll that's more entree than snack or side. Not much info on these either. We didn't serve spring rolls at the restaurant that I worked at, so yeah, that's 7 dishes. I would have never thought of these on the list. I was expecting like Som Tom,